Hey everyone, thank you for joining our webinar today. Super excited to have you here. I'm gonna jump straight in. We're using a slightly different setup than what we usually do, so if you can't hear us, please let us know in the comments. My name's Rio. If you haven't met me before, I'm Head of Customer Experience at Ticket Tailor. Really excited to be talking to you all.
Hi, I'm Therese. I'm the Customer Success Specialist. So I've probably spoken to a bunch of people before, but I'm happy to be joining Ria today.
So just as we kick off, a little bit of housekeeping. This webinar is going to be recorded, so although we're showing you lots of new tips and tricks, no need to take loads of notes because you'll get a recording to your inbox and it will be on our YouTube channel as well. We've got a comment. Glad the audio sounds great. We've got a comments box in the corner. If you want to pop any questions in as we're going through, please do, as we do have time for Q&A at the end. But what we're going to share with you today are some of the new features that we've built so far this year. We're about halfway through the year, so we thought it was a good sort of time to have a webinar like this. So the first thing we'll start with are our order management tools. So we'll kick off looking at our self-serve order management, and then we'll look into the tools we've done for our updated order cancellations, transfers and refunds. So all those little things that's going to help you make your post-sales lives easier, even easier than they are already. After we've had a little look at those features, we'll jump over into the new selling tools. So we've launched something called Ticket Dependencies, which we'll go through, and group ticket options as well. And then we'll also look at the check-in app and show you the new features we've built into there that will hopefully help you reduce queues at your events. So yeah, that's the agenda for today. Put questions into the comments as you have them. We will have time at the end. And I'm going to hand over to Therese now to kick us off.
Awesome. So yeah, so I'm jumping straight into talking about self-serve, which is a super powerful new feature we've added, which basically allows you to give your customers the power to either resend their order confirmations or transfer to a different occurrence, as well as canceling the order without you needing to get involved. So you're saving time, and especially if you have a small team, it'll hopefully be super helpful for you. So just to jump into a video, you'll see that the customer will be able to click a button, which is on your event page with Manage Tickets. All they're doing is popping in the email address that they bought the ticket with. After filling in a short CAPTCHA, an email is sent straight to their inbox. It's worth noting we're not asking them to create their own account. This is, we're not collecting any more data. They're solely logging in just with the email address. And as you can see, they'll get an email address just to be able to, in one click, they can manage the orders. We redirect them to a page which they'll see a whole list of all the tickets they purchase for upcoming events, as well as previously bought events. And for each of the orders, they can click on the Manage Order button. They'll see a whole breakdown of, they'll be able to view print tickets, resend confirmation. They'll have the order summary at the very bottom. So if they need to have a look at that again, as well as a breakdown of the tickets themselves, so they can save them and also view each QR code in the order. So if they do want to share with their friends, they can do so as well. And the two newly featured we've added is the cancellation button, as well as the reschedule, which works if you do have a recurring event. So very easily they can just pick and choose which time slot they want to move on to, and it will automatically send them an email with a confirmation with a new QR code. And obviously the old tickets will be released, so we'll be able to sell it again. And that's literally how easy it is. Yeah, as you can see, you can just see that it's been successfully scheduled. And once you've rescheduled, you'll still see in the list any orders which have been transferred or cancelled will still be listed there, so they can easily track each of the orders. Cool. And if I just pop onto the next, I just wanted to show you what it looks like from your side, from the Ticket Tailor dashboard, and how you can edit these functions. Because of course it's completely up to you what you want to allow them to do. If you don't even want them to be able to transfer or cancel, that's totally up to you. We're not forcing this upon you guys. So if I just quickly jump into your dashboard, you're probably quite familiar with it. You'll find it in box office settings. So on the left-hand side menu, we've added a new tab called self-serve. And this is where you can edit all the settings of the order management. So on it, as the default, we have it set up so they can view the order confirmation, so that anytime they can just go click, see their order. At least you can allow them to resend themselves the confirmation back. And down below is also, if you do have recurring events, you can allow them to reschedule to another occurrence. However, you can set the condition, so you can allow them to reschedule up until the last hour before the event starts. But if you perhaps want to leave it like 3 days or even a week before the event, or even up to 4 weeks, because you have stuff to, you have to organize your event, you might not want to have last minute reschedulments or cancellations. You can, completely up to you. And similarly, you can actually restrict it by order value. So if it is, large order that you don't want to be transferred at the last minute, perhaps some big group that you're kind of relying upon and make changes for, you can also restrict by order value. And similarly, down below is the ability to give them the power to cancel their own orders. However, again, it's completely up to you. You might not want to give them a refund. You might just want to allow them to cancel the order, to release the ticket back. You can, of course, refund them to the full original payment and give them full refund. Or you can also credit them a voucher for the amount they've purchased. So you might want to keep the money, but it gives them the ability to then go back and kind of rebook the ticket at their own convenience, rather than giving them a full refund. And again, you can set up the conditions. So whether you wanted to have just a month to reschedule, or up to 5 years, you never know. And as well as allowing the partial redemption. At the very last, the box is just order management terms, which you might want to share with the customer. So these will be visible for them when they log into their account to view the orders. So perhaps any kind of terms that you might have set about refunds, or whether they're receiving any refunds or whether they are able to transfer. It's always good to pop them in some notes there. So before they start, again, to avoid anyone, as little as possible, to avoid reaching out to you guys. And that's how you set it up on the dashboard. If I just go back to the presentation. Oh, and I'll pass it on to Rio to talk about some of the other order management tools.
Thanks, Rio. So that was a great run through of self-serve, which obviously is a really useful feature for letting your customers make their own order changes and save you a bunch of time. But we know that they're not always going to do it themselves. So we've continued to improve the stuff that you can do in the dashboard as well. We saw it briefly there, but we've obviously added the option to cancel and refund via a voucher. So it used to be the case that it was just a full refund to the original payment method, or no refund at all. And in some situations, you want a little bit more flexibility, or customers want to come back to another event in the future. So they've got an illness and can't make it, and they want to come, but they don't know when. So giving them that voucher is going to retain your revenue, and it's going to also give them the flexibility of rebooking. So that's something that's been added to the options for refunding. We've also made it easy to do bulk cancellations, because although we don't want to think about the worst case situation, we know that sometimes whole events do need to be cancelled or moved. For example, if you've got an outdoor event and there's adverse weather conditions, you might need to quickly cancel everyone's ticket or order and move your event or postpone your event. So we knew it used to be a bit manual, so adding a quick way to do this in bulk is a really nice way for you to do things quickly and be less stressed on the day when there's probably a whole lot else on your mind in those situations. At the bottom, we've got a little sneak preview of what we're working on as well. One of the big requests we hear from organisers like you is that you'd love to be able to partially refund that might be because of your terms and conditions, sort of like 50% refund 10 days before the event, etc. Or it might just be that you want to retain your booking fee. So we're working on building that at the moment. And we're also, for those of you that run seated events in venues, theatres, etc., we're working on the option to transfer seated tickets as well, which I know is something that you all really want. So at the end of this webinar, we'll send a recording around to you. And if you're interested in testing the coming soon features, there'll be an option to register your interest to get a sneak preview. So yeah, do let us know if you're begging to have those, and we'll share our work with you. But firstly, I'm just going to sort of give you a little look at how you might bulk cancel should you need to. So up here, obviously, you'll navigate to your orders tab to find all of your orders. This is, everything that's been paid for on Ticket Tailor, a little bit different from your event page and your door list, which are the tickets specific to that event. This is sort of everything going on. So if you've got loads of events, it might be a little bit busy in here, but that's very easy. You can simply use the filters and select the specific event that you're looking to cancel. That's going to bring up all of the orders from that event. From here, I'm going to click the checkbox at the top, which is going to select all of my events here, all of my orders here, sorry. And then obviously you can take a few out if you need to, very flexible. Using the Actions tab, I will then click Cancel and Refund, and you'll get very simple cancellation form. So you want to add a cancellation refund here, so just event cancelled in this demo, and then you'll have the drop down to give you the different refund options. So obviously you've got the option to refund to the original payment method. You can record a refund outside of Ticket Tailor, so if you've already refunded through Stripe or want to give out cash or something, you can pop that in as well. But I'm going to go through the refunding to a voucher, since that's a pretty new refund option as well. So when you refund to a voucher, obviously different events are going to have different conditions. You might have an event season that finishes at some particular time, or you might just, want to make sure that your event, like your revenue, is sort of more controlled by you. So you can set preset expiry dates, or you can choose a particular date. Say I'm only doing like autumn events, maybe I want my voucher to expire this season in case I change my pricing for next season. And then you've got these options here to send a voucher to the ticket buyer, which obviously in a cancellation case you're probably going to want to do that, or send them a voucher to their inbox. And you can also allow partial redemption, which means they can spend half of their voucher for one ticket, for example, and book a second event. Or if you remove that, they have to spend the voucher in just one transaction. So it gives you a bit of flexibility on managing those vouchers. And then, of course, you'll be able to review how you're going to refund the order. So if people have paid for your event with different payment methods, you'd see sort of Stripe, maybe Square, maybe PayPal, and you can see where all of that money is going. So it's a nice little breakdown here, and it will tell you how the refunds are going to be processed as well. And then just quickly cancel, and you're all done. So just a few clicks and your orders are all cancelled. So hopefully, if you are hit with a stressful cancellation situation, which we hope you're not, it's less stressful on the order management side. Cool. So that's our order management kind of features that are pretty new, and hopefully they'll save you a lot of time. We're going to move on now to the sort of sales features that we've started releasing to give you more flexibility over the way that you sell your ticket.
Cool. So I'm very excited to show you a feature which was actually highly requested. So I'm super glad that it's was finally released, which is ticket dependencies. So of course, there's a few different ways you might use this feature. So I'll kind of talk you through a few different scenarios which might be helpful for you. Of course, if you do want to ask us about specific scenarios, feel free to pop in the chat and then we can go through it in Q&A. So we got ticket dependencies. So in the example in the video, I'm selecting 2 child admission tickets, but it's a custom error has shown up that you need to select an adult ticket. So which means that the customer won't be able to actually purchase a ticket or even go to the payment stage without selecting the ticket the child is dependent on. So in this case, we didn't want to be able to sell solely child tickets without buying an adult ticket. So you can see how this could be useful in many different scenarios, but this is obviously the most simplest one. So how it looks from a dashboard, you'll see that when you are creating the ticket types, when you edit the ticket type, that you'll find that the last feature is added is ticket dependency, which I might quickly just.
You want to share this? You're sharing.
Which one?
Which screen did you want to share?
I was just wondering where to share how to set it up on the ticket level. But yeah, so you can set your custom error message as well. But as you can see, it will be quite visible that is conditional. So if you you can do different tickets dependent on, a lot of tickets become dependent on different tickets. So it's not just necessary to be just have one of the conditions set in your box office. Another example we're using here is if you have a workshop and you might be offering a number of different workshops during the week, but what the customer is paying for is actually a course. So we would set the main ticket as a course payment, and then would make down below is all the workshops you have available, which they can choose from. But once the course payment the 10 of the course payment have been bought, the event will show as sold out. And the last example was we're coming up to the Christmas season, so we thought we'd pop in one of a common Christmas Christmas request from us. So sometimes perhaps your time slot might not be dependent on specifically kind of ticket quantity, so how many people are coming. It might be dependent on groups. So in the example, if you do have Christmas grottos and you only have one Christmas grotto, but it's not dependent how many people are coming. It can be up to 10 people coming, but once that one grotto is purchased, the time slot has been sold out. So in this case, both the Big Elf and Little Elf are dependent on the book this time slot, and once the one time slot has been sold out, again you won't be able to the ticket will show as sold out, and you won't be able to people won't be able to purchase more tickets. And before I jump on, the next one is about group tickets, which is another feature that we just released recently. So this is especially super helpful if you do have any bigger groups, or perhaps school groups that come to your events. You might have noticed that by default, we always provide one QR code for one ticket purchased, whereas this gives you the option of having one QR code for the whole order rather than a number of separate ones, which again is might be a time-saving feature at the door. So instead of having to scroll through and scan each and single QR code, you'll be able to just share the one. And this is just a screenshot of, again, what it looks like from the dashboard. So when you are editing a ticket type, you'll see a new drop down, which is how you'd like to issue these tickets for the QR code. So as I mentioned, by default, it is one QR code for one ticket, but you can now select to issue a group ticket QR code for all the tickets in this group. Awesome, and now I'm heading back to Rio for we're checking that experience.
Thanks, Reese. That was a great run through of those new advanced ticket features. And yeah, I'm really excited to talk about the new check-in app. In case you missed it, we have released a whole new check-in app this year. So if you haven't downloaded it yet, please do so from the App Store, the Play Store. Just search for the Ticket Tailor check-in app and you'll find it there. Tazotix, which was the previous check-in app, that's no longer supported. So if you've still got that on your phone, please switch. It'd be much better using the Ticket Tailor app, I promise. It's been completely updated, built on, more up-to-date code, which means the syncing's better, it's more stable. It's got all the same great features it used to have, like working offline, and a whole bunch more, which I'm happy to show you. So one of the first things that we've added is the option to check in groups. So you can see here from your main check-in app settings menu, you can toggle this to check in all tickets as a group, which means then when you go to your event and you scan one ticket in an order, you'll see all of the tickets in that order. And if everyone's arrived, you can just click that green button at the bottom to check in everyone all together. If, for example, you've got a school group and they booked 12 tickets, but actually only 10 of them have arrived, you can press these like green ticks and just take out 2 if you want your check-in reports to be accurate, or if you're literally just saving time, you can check them all in and you're done. So again, just something we hope will be useful for those of you with big groups to reduce your queue time. The second tool we've added is the option to filter your events. So from your event, when that's open and you've got all of your ticket types there, you can choose to filter by just your event tickets, or you can choose to filter by just products that you've sold. If you've got products with QR codes, and you can see the ticket numbers changing there. And you can also filter for like specific ticket types. So this is really useful if you run one of those events with lots of different areas, where maybe they collect a product from one place and they check in at another place. If you sort of a VIP entrance and that's over there, you can make sure that they're sort of scanned in at their specific entrance and not in the wrong place. And just to show you how it's going to look if you scan in a ticket without a filter. So in this example here, I'm going to just select to scan in my Monday evening ticket. So you can see I've sold each of my days as a ticket type. So if someone turns up on Monday, then it will check them in correctly. But if someone turns up with the ticket for the wrong day, you'll get this yellow warning. So it's not going to check them in automatically, but it will. If you do want to check them in, like if they've just gone to the wrong entrance and it's kind of okay, you can tap on that yellow warning and check them in manually. But otherwise, it will sort of alert you to the fact that they're showing you the wrong ticket. So again, if you've got like tickets and products and they come to the product table and accidentally show that ticket, you can just say something like, oh, have you got your other QR code there? And then you'll have your accurate check-in reports, and hopefully it'll be really easy for your door staff and your events as well. And one final thing that we've added is this pull to refresh. So obviously, if you've got new events being added really quickly and you want to sync them because you forgot to do it earlier in the day, you can just pull down. Or if you've got people buying tickets in the queue, you can pull down to sync to refresh with your dashboard, and it's going to bring in that ticket data and send it back. So also we've got a last downloaded time here. So if you want to make sure that everything that you've checked in is getting back to your head office so they can see who's in the door and stuff, it should be a lot easier to see when that's happening and to make sure it's happening when you want it to as well. So yeah, really excited for those features. And if you haven't got the new app yet, please do definitely download it. So yeah, we whizzed through all of those features, and now we've got a time for questions, which I see we've had a few coming through in the chat, so we'll start picking out some of those and answering them, but please do add more if you've got them. I'll just put this back on the screen to remind you of what we went through, which was self-serve tools, bulk cancellations, vouchers, voucher cancellations, ticket dependencies, group tickets, and check-in app updates. So I'm just going to have a quick look at some of the questions. And let's start with one about self-serve. Oh, wait. Cool. So this question says, are the accounts specific to each box office, or when a client puts their email on the self-serve, do they get a view of all of the tickets they've bought with that email address through Ticket Tailor? I'm happy to answer this one. It is dependent on the box office, and the reason we've done this is obviously for data security. Basically, if I bought a ticket from your event, Diego, and then bought a ticket from Teresa's event, maybe Teresa wouldn't want me to know that she was using Ticket Tailor, and it just keeps it different and distinct for your ticket buyers as well. So each box office has its own individual self-serve link, which you can email to your customers, you can embed on your website. And also, if they go back to your Ticket Tailor event page, the Manage Ticket button on there will take them through. So basically, where they bought their tickets is a good place for them to go to manage their tickets as well. So yeah, I hope that answered that question.
Yeah, and it's worth noting, if you do have a widget embedded on your website instead of event page, they'll still see the Manage Ticket button at the very bottom of the widget. So you'll still be able to use that feature.
Oh, we've had another question about self-serve, which says, if self-serve is set up now, will it be eligible for tickets booked before setup? Which is a really great question. Yes, it will be. So your self-serve settings are set per box office, and that means that whatever they are, they're going to apply for every event in that box office. And if you change it, it's going to apply retroactively to all active tickets. So yeah, it will. So if you wanted to sort of enable, if you've got tickets that you sold and you wanted to enable transfers now or cancellations now, you can absolutely go ahead and do that.
I'm just going to choose a next question from Linda. So just to confirm, so just to understand, the client can change or cancel their own reservation from this page. So yes, absolutely. So if obviously the conditions is completely up to you, so you can set the rules whether you want to allow them to be able to cancel and in what form, whether you want a full refund or perhaps refund to voucher instead. And similarly with changing to different occurrence, you can decide whether you want them to, change with, you have the ability to change like an hour before the event or, a week before the event. But yes, absolutely, this is the ideal feature to give them the power to be able to cancel and also change the reservation by themselves.
And a question about the check-in app now from Terence. Is there a way to check in attendees twice, registration on Friday and then check in the same guest on Saturday for the main event? Yes, absolutely. The check-in app is set up to do this. So if you've just issued one ticket, you can check them in and you can scan the QR code again on the way out and that can check them out. Or if you don't want to sort of make people check out again, you can at the end of your event go into the door list and check all of your tickets out. Or if you've got thousands and thousands and thousands of tickets, just drop a note to customer support and we can do that in bulk for you as well. But I would recommend in this particular case, if you've got a Friday and a Saturday that you want 2 check-ins, I would recommend using those filters. So maybe issuing 2 ticket types in one order as a bundle perhaps, and then you can filter for the Friday, check them in, and then filter for the Saturday again. So there's a few options there, but yeah, absolutely possible. Give it a go yourself, get comfortable with how you want to use it, and yeah, hope it works out for your event.
Absolutely. And I have a question from Tina. So can they cancel a ticket if my cancellation period is passed? This is stated in the terms and conditions, but I want to check what happens if they try to cancel after. So no. So whatever rule you've added about the cancellation, as you probably noticed from the video, there's a cancel button, but if the time has passed, it will be grayed out and they won't be able to access it. We do provide a little explanation or like a sentence underneath saying that the basic cancellation window has passed and to what date you had available. So very much, it is giving them the information they need about why they won't be able to cancel. So hopefully they don't have to get in touch with you. But of course, we wouldn't, we don't allow them to cancel once the cancellation period has passed.
That would be
Yeah.
absolutely
No, exactly.
Cool. We've just had a question come in from Deborah. All this talk about check-in app, and the question is, can we print off a list of the attendees, which is always a good backup? You absolutely can. From your event, you can go to your door list. Let me see if I can quickly show you this actually. So from any event, you can go into it, and let's go to one with some tickets, go onto your issued tickets in the side, and then export your door list there. You can export it as a PDF or a CSV, and you can print it off easily from there if you want a backup from your check-in app as well. Your check-in app does work offline as well, though. So if you are worried about having connectivity in a field, as long as you've sort of downloaded it while you've got Wi-Fi, you're able to still use all of that check-in app data on an iPad, on your phone, however you're using it. So yeah, no worries about that, but always useful to print stuff too.
Absolutely. And I'll grab the message from Tina. So this is just making sure, just asking whether we can add more characters to the ticket description, if we can increase it. So you're finding a limited and full description of what each ticket includes. This is a great request. So currently it is limited to a certain amount of characters, but if we'll definitely take it away to see if there's perhaps something we can improve on for the future.
Just having a quick scroll through this one. Cool. So John's asked us, can we allow clients to change a product order? For example, you're offering a dinner with the show and the dinner's a product. There are 3 kinds of dinners, and basically people want to change their option, which I probably would never be able to decide. And if I had this option, I'd be doing it all the time. At the moment, if the product has a QR code, you can,
yes,
is that correct? Yeah, so if you're issuing your product with a QR code, which it sounds like you probably are, if it's like a upsell from your event, they'd be able to like cancel to a voucher and rebook everything. But if it's a store product, that's not able to be edited, transferred, etc. Mainly because we don't know, as Ticket Tailor, we don't know if you posted it to them or if they've got that product another way. So yeah, if your product has a QR code, it will work kind of like a ticket type in terms of those self-serve options.
Awesome. Let me just scroll down. I'm sure I should take this one.
Yeah, there's loads of questions.
Sorry, just for I know, thank you so
too many
much.
to choose. If we don't answer any, we'll try and pop them in the email that we send out at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. But now loving this. But next question is from Dee. So is there a way of taking a deposit payment for an event first before the rest of the payment is taken? So there are a couple of workarounds. We actually have a help center article, which I'm happy to share with you also after the call. But one of the workarounds is to have a event solely to take for the deposit, and then be able to send them using an email broadcast to send them a link to the next link to be able to complete their payment. But also probably the easiest ones we do now have, if you're using a Stripe, we have Pay in 3. So you have the option, the customer will have the option of splitting the payment in 3. So perhaps if you may be using Stripe, you can always add PayPal as a secondary option just for them, if anyone is in need to split the payments that's probably the easiest and best solution.
Yeah, so that's Klarna on Stripe.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Pay with
Klarna.
PayPal.
Sorry, get confused into it.
And I did see a question which I can't find now, but someone was asking about the when the sort of partial refunds might be available. So it's something we're working on now. As we mentioned, if you're interested in testing it out, we love your feedback. Obviously, you're going to be the ones using it. So if you do think you'll use it a lot, there'll be a way to sort of share your feedback. It's always really useful. We can build exactly what you want. And yeah, as it's being worked on now, we're hoping to get it released this quarter. So yeah, next couple of months. Obviously, it's refunds, it's money. We've got to test everything first. So don't want to promise anything because we're not going to release it until we're really happy that we're only going to be refunding the amount that you want, because yeah, no one would want that. But yeah, it's being worked on now. So yeah, in the next couple of months, very excited.
Super excited. Yeah, can't wait. Just as a follow-up, I can see that Dee asked whether it was Stripe that allowed the split payment. So yeah, Stripe, you can enable Klarna with Stripe, which is Pay in 3, is it?
Yeah. So Klarna, if you don't know, if you've not heard of it, it's a kind of, it offers like a credit payments for lots of purchases. So when people pay with Stripe, they can select Klarna, and it's like 3 payments. I think it depends on the value of your ticket, how many payments it'll offer, sort of 2 or 3. But yeah, PayPal also has their own product called PayPal Pay in 3, and it's called something different in the US versus the UK, but it's something along those lines. So they have their own product as well, which you can add from your payment processor option. So you'll need to add it in Stripe or PayPal first, and then in Ticket Tailor, make sure it's enabled. But we'll share some help articles with the recording as well.
Absolutely. For sure.
Yeah, I'm just looking through something you wanted to grab.
Which one? Sorry, just reading through. Should we go through this together? It's a long one, but I feel like it's relatable because it's about ticket dependencies, so I'm sure it'll be helpful. So we're asked if we have a free event in the evening before which attendees to the day events are granted access to an exclusive pre-evening event. Could this be a scenario where ticket dependencies apply? We don't want regular evening attendees to see the exclusive pre-event tickets, but prefer not to use access codes.
Okay, pre-evening event. The day events can go to the evening event, or you can buy it. Okay, I get it. So I have an idea. Do you have an idea?
Go for it.
What I would probably do to set this up is to create a hidden ticket for the free evening event and bundle it up with the day ticket, which would mean when you purchase a day ticket, you'd actually get your 2 tickets in one transaction. I think I'd probably use that rather than a dependency. Yeah, I think that would be probably the easiest way to do this.
Yeah, I agree, especially if you don't actually want the other ticket buyers to be able to see the free event listed. So bundling up would mean only the day tickets would be able to have access to the free event. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've got a good question from Rich, which is, correct me if I've misunderstood the way you've written this, Rich, but you've written partial refund as well as partial credit voucher towards unused tickets. So I'm presuming what this means is if you cancel a voucher, you want to give some money back and some as a voucher. So maybe that's part of your terms and conditions. At the moment, we don't have plans to create that. It's kind of an either or refund option, but it's really nice suggestion. If you've got any more detail on that, do let the customer support know, or email us back from the email that we'll send around with this recording as to sort of why you'd want that and how you'd use it, and it's definitely something we can consider as we keep building and improving this feature.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the exciting part. It's a new feature, but we're constantly building and building on it with your feedback. So
yeah, I've seen a few other sort of comments requesting specific features that we haven't really talked about today, so we will record all of them. We might not give verbal replies right now just for sake of time and relevancy, but thank you for your suggestions. They do really help us sort of build these features that we've seen today. Just scrolling back up in case we've missed anything from the beginning. So Tom has asked about, with the self-serve feature, is it going to be able to be used for members, and whether they'll be able to download their QR code image from it and see when their membership expires and then renew their memberships. So definitely they'll be able to use self-serve to find their membership, view their QR code. So if you have a members area on your website, actually this would be a really nice place to put that link, because then if people lose their email or whatever, they can get it again when they're coming. In terms of renewing and seeing their expiry dates, I'm not sure about the expiry date one. I have to double check and get back to you. Renewing memberships, not planned at the moment in the sort of first release, but never say never. We know it's something that a lot of people want us to expand on a memberships feature. So yeah, definitely something that we're aware would be super helpful to a lot of you people that are using memberships. Okay, just circling back, as Rich has explained, that sometimes people want to keep their remaining tickets, so cancel sort of 2 tickets out of 4. So yeah, thanks for explaining, Rich. I think when we've released partial refunds, this is kind of the way that you might want to use the partial refund feature. So if some of your customers say, oh, only 2 of us can go now, they can choose to cancel just those 2 tickets in their order, and then you can refund those 2 tickets, and then their tickets will be valid. So I think hopefully when we've released that as well and added that into self-serve, which is the plan, then you'll be able to do everything that you wanted to do.
And absolutely feel free, like Ria said at the beginning, we are looking for volunteers to test it all out, so feel free to push yourself forward, and then you can be the first to get early access.
Cool. So I think we will finish up there for today. Thank you so much for all of your questions, everyone. As I mentioned, we'll be sending this recording around to your inboxes. We'll be also popping it on YouTube. And if you've got any more ideas, suggestions, these features are new, so feedback on them, definitely write into customer support or email us hi@ticketailor.com, because it's really helpful. So thank you again for joining us, and have a great rest of your Wednesday.
Oh, thanks everyone.